Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today I'm going to be talking about 6 games I played so you don't have to. I don't like these games. Hey, the fact is that you might like them, but I'm going to tell you why I don't. So we have 6 games here. Let's jump into them. We'll go from my the one I like the most to the one I like the least. Out of Sock. I don't even know what that means. Out of Sock. Well, anyway, it's a game from Roberto Fraga, who really does make a lot of great games, especially kids' games. So I'm cutting this one a little bit of slack. It's also from Blue Orange. But here, let's take a look. In this game, you're going to place these cards that go from 2 to 7 here. And then you're going to have 12 cards in each stack that show various numbers of socks in different colors. 6 greens, 2 orange, 2 pink. This doubles the value of all your greens. There are 3 cards in each suit that have a plus to minus. So if you get one of these, all my pink socks will be negative. If I get 2, it's back to positive. If I get the third one, it's back to negative again. And there's 1 card in each suit that says, if I took this one, red socks don't score for me at all at the end of the game. Well, how do you get socks? Well, there's a bunch of dice here in this laundry basket, and you're going to roll these out of the laundry basket, and you don't want to roll 0, 1, or all 8. So let's say I rolled 4 out. I now have 2 choices. I could either say there's 4 dice, I put them in front of the 4, and I'll take both the cards, the top 2 cards, whatever they might be. Oh, great. All green socks are double, but they're also negative. Or I could put a die on each matching number. Then I take one of those dice, and I'll say, I'll take this die and take this one. And then each other person, in turn order, is going to take one of these and get the matching card on top of that. That's it. That's the game. The next person goes, and when 1 or 2 decks, depending on the number of player, are gone, you'll add and or subtract your points, and whoever has the most is the winner. Out of Sock is not a bad idea. I don't mind the whole roll dice, and you don't want to roll 0, 1, or 8. It's the second game that does that. Actually, I like that mechanism. I wish more games did it. It's kind of hard to get one motion do it, although the rules aren't as quickly as how you're supposed to roll them. But using all the dice to take 1 card, or to take take 2 cards, one of them completely unknown, or to put the dice out and take them, sounds good in theory, but honestly, this game is just so random. I cannot like it. It's just way too random because that second card, when you take 2 cards, you'll be like, well, I'll take this times 2, and then the next one, negative. You're trying to get something. When it's your turn, you have more control. Although if you take 2 cards, you're giving up that control because you don't know what that second one is. But you can literally put dice out and it gets to someone's turn and they go, well, I guess I'm getting a negative here. And you just can't control what cards are coming out, what cards you take. When someone takes a card, the next card gets revealed and you're like, wow, that's perfect for me. And scores just are wildly random. It doesn't feel like you made any choice. But if you like the idea of the dice rolling and you like the concept, you might enjoy it. I just found it to be too random. Every time I've tried this, someone has felt a little upset at the end of the game because they're like, I didn't do anything and I scored poorly. And I'm like, that is correct. So Out of Sock is a 5 out of 10 for me. 7 Secret Supervillains. This is a deck building game with a ton of content in this box, honestly, because the way the rules read, and let me tell you about these rules, I'll be back to that in a moment. The way the rules read that you get 7 supervillains, but the box is full of like 30. So you're picking 7 of these 30, I suppose is like a Kickstarter thing. Anyhow, it's a deck building game. Let's take a look. In this game, you're going to use 7 of these supervillains. You'll take the supervillain, and then the rest of these cards, their minions, are shuffled into a deck, and then they come with an upgrade that will get shuffled into another deck. So you'll have all these cards with the same background, which is stupid. But anyway, then these cards themselves, the supervillains, will be shuffled into a deck. The goal of this game is to control 7 of these secret supervillains. Each person will get one of these cards, which mean nothing. They have no special abilities. You just take one. And this is the supercomputer evil villain who you are. You're also going to get a starting deck, which is made up of 2 junk bots and then 8 tiny bots. You'll shuffle, and on your turn, you'll draw 5 cards.
Now, you can play as many of the cards as you want to, so I'll play all these. They're going to give you a purchasing power for, not the junkie bot, so I can buy different things. I can buy a scaredy bot, which gives me 2 to spend, and I can expel, get rid of this card, put it back in the pile to attach up to 1 card to a discard villain, so that's always available. I can buy this upgrade, which is a permanent upgrade that I can use every turn, but as you can see, the cost for that is pretty expensive. It's 10. Or you can buy these cards in the middle row. Now, with 4, I can't buy this awesome alien ship, but I could buy Dr. Jaws here, which is then replaced by this one immediately. And any card that you buy will go to your discard pile. And in the future, I can play this one. It will give me 2 money, and I can look at the bottom card of my deck. I can put it on top or discard it. Whenever you draw a card, you don't have to play it in front of you. You can put it on your side of one of the supervillains if it matches the symbol on it. This one shows a tooth, that shows a tooth. I now have 3 power. The goal is to have 17 power on your side. If you do so, you take that supervillain, and a new supervillain will be revealed that people will be fighting over, and these cards go away. You can still use these cards whenever you want, but now I might be trying to get that one, so I might play a 9, and then an 8. Look, that's 17. If any supervillain has 10 to 16 from a person on it, they're put in a danger zone, which just basically means another supervillain comes out. The first person to win 4 supervillains is the winner. Meanwhile, on your turn, you're playing your 5 cards, doing your special abilities if you want to, discarding them, drawing 5 more when your draw pile runs out. All your discards become your draw pile, like a typical deck building style game.
Even if I like this game, and I think it's okay at best, see this QR code in the back? That's the rules, because this company decided we don't want to put rules in the box. What on earth? Put your rules in the box. I don't want to have the QR code and look them up online. Like, if you put them online, that's great, but put written rules in the box. I will always drop a point from a game for not putting the rules in the box. I don't always have access to the internet or always want to have to scroll around on my phone to read rules when I can just read them. That's so annoying. The art in this game, which is clearly AI, is okay, I guess. It doesn't really give it, there's like a theme to each one of these. The idea is interesting, as in I collect cards, but I'm giving these cards up to control the 7 supervillains. This has been done in other deck building games where a card's good, but you're trying to get rid of it. I like that concept, but here it fails for me, really, because the bigger cards are just clearly better, and the card itself, other than the value of money it gives you, isn't that great. Also, once you get an upgrade, if you can afford enough money to get an upgrade, and you get a couple upgrades, you can do that ability every round, you're kind of going to whoop up on your opponent. It kind of speeds to a conclusion, but there's also luck with the cards coming up, and that happens in many of these deck building games that have a river of cards that come and you buy them and new ones come out. But this one, it just feels too lucky. I like the concept of it, but the execution isn't great. Makes it okay, but then take away the rules, and boo, 5 out of 10. 7 secret supervillains. Surf's Up is from Good Games, which... So this is a game in which everyone's playing a card simultaneously to win the surf. You're catching the waves. You want to be the fastest person out. Let's take a look. At the beginning of the game, everyone has 5 energy cards in this resting card. You also have 2 respect. Yeah! Some cards are going to be placed out here, beach cards and ocean wave cards. And each ocean wave is going to come in. And when an ocean wave comes in, everyone's going to pick a card secretly and reveal them at the same time. Highest card wins. However, if players tie, then we'll look at the same number of respect. We'll look at the respect you have. If that's also a tie, well then those cards are out. Those people wipe out and we go to the next highest card. Whoever wins is going to keep this card. Yeah. This one's worth 9 points. Then they can either take a respect or they can go to the beach and buy cards. There are 2 different kinds of cards to buy at the beach. You can pay these. These are temporary energy cards that you can play, so 3.5 beats a 3. When you play them, they're trashed. The winner also trashes the card that they played. So if I won with a 1, which would be great, I trashed a 1. So you're going to have to buy more of these eventually. You can also buy surfboards, which are just going to give you points for having different kinds of cards at the end of the game. So see this, 3, so now it's worth 4 at the end of the game instead. Second place, the runner-up, also can take a respect or buy a card from the beach.
And so there's going to be different cards here in the beach each round. When one of the jellyfish cards comes in, everyone's also bidding to not take that. Whoever does win that, the slowest person, will take one of these tokens. At the end of the game, it will show you how many points you can lose. When 5 of these come through, the game is over. And everyone's going to add up their score for their wave cards. And let me just show you a bunch of the wave cards. And the gold cards that are put out at the beginning. So if I win these, I'm going to get +3. Win a wave with my 2, +3. Win duplicate waves, +5. Whoever has the most points is the winner.
The concept of this game sounds good. I remember reading the rules thinking, I don't think this is a bad idea. I'm a big fan of playing cards simultaneously, but this game has some pretty big flaws. First of all, those starfish cards that come, they're worth fewer points. And they're like, yeah, but look at all the surfboards will add to each of those. The surfboard adds 1 to each of those. So even if I get 3 of those, which means I scored 3 waves, that surfboard card is worth 3 points. Get another surfboard card now, it's worth 6 points between the two of them. And yet, if I take a card that's worth 9 points, I'm already doing so much better. It just doesn't work out for me. And the jellyfish tokens go from, there's some that are 0. So it's just very random. But putting the cards out simultaneously, I like the concept in theory, but the fact of the matter is, at the beginning of the game, there's going to be so many ties. People are going to flip them over, oh, the 5s, oh, they're canceled because we both have the same amount of, the waves, the respect, and then the 4 is canceled and whatever. As respect moves around, it gets better because people are gaining this respect to buy cards. But this is one of those games where you can keep losing and losing and losing, and you finally win a 3-point card. And it's just so all over the place. There's no real satisfaction. I love the look of it. Good Games puts out a good product. What the way it looks. I love the waves. It all comes together, and it sounds good. It's just the math is wrong. Even the winner losing a card isn't that big of a deal when they get respected up to buy another card. Yes, it's only one-time use, but that might be enough to get them another card. So it feels, again, like someone's just going to be left behind in the waves. So this one's a 4 out of 10 for me. Surf's Up, did not really enjoy it. Hey, relay. Roll dice, do stupid stuff. That's the review. Well, there's more to it than that. Let me show you.
Each team is going to be moving up these tracks up to the top and down. First person to get the finish line wins. It's a real-time game. On your turn, you roll the dice. You look at the space in front of you. Did you roll that space? No. So then you pass it to the next player. They roll. Did you roll that space? No. This is not so bad. I am rolling well. This is great. We are crushing the other team who's not even rolling. If you ever do roll a symbol that's on the space in front of you, then you must draw the top card of this deck, and your whole team must do what it says. Everyone pretend to blow up your own balloon animal. Say what you're making out loud. No duplicates and no snakes. Everyone bump hips with the people inside of you. Everyone pretend to lick a popsicle 5 times. Everyone loudly cock-a-doodle-doo 3 times. All other teammates dance like a robot until you roll a robot, using only 1 dice. Everyone name a football team. So the first team to get the finish wins. You can also play with special abilities, like if we're playing Ninja Cats, whenever we complete a challenge, the current roller pretends to disappear in a puff of smoke. And that is the whole game, folks.
I hate this. I knew I was going to hate it when I read the rules, but I wanted to see how my kids enjoyed it. They thought it was fine. The fact of the matter is, doing this stupid stuff is kind of fun, but if you roll a bunch of dice and match the symbols up, you can get far ahead of the other team. And then having to do it's construed fun. Fun should be spontaneous. A game should encourage fun and pave the way for fun, not force it. And that's what this game does. It forces fun. Might be interesting for a time or two. The only reason I'm not really beating on this game is because, well, my kids found it mildly amusing. I despise it. I don't think it's interesting. There's not many cards in it. This is a game that honestly has been done many times before. 3 out of 10. Hexpath. Looks like a game that you would get at a teaching store, but I'm telling you, the components in this game are fantastic. Let's take a look.
You're going to build a board here made up of hexagonal tiles that snap together really well, but the middle of each tile will spin around. There's a method to the madness. You'll notice a nice circle here, but they're outside, they're kind of random. You'll play with a certain number of pawns, 3 or 4, depending on how many. and you'll put your exits out on the board depending on how many players are. You roll the dice. Double 6 is nice. I can move one thing 12 or 2 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Before or after I move, I can rotate a piece. You can't rotate a piece with someone on it or one that someone just rotated. So maybe I'll rotate this one so I can get on there because I am trying to get home at some point. To get home, you simply need to roll over the amount to get there. Unless you're on the last tile, then you need to roll exact. If you don't, let's say I roll a 5, I can move 5 backwards, or I can not move at all. Also, if you land on someone else's pawn, blippity-bloppity-blue, they go back to home. First person to get all the people home is the winner.
Well, most of you probably know how you feel about this game after having watched that overview, right? It's kind of like Parcheesi or almost Chinese checkers. You're trying to get across the board. You roll dice, you move. You land on someone, they go back home. You got to get there by exact count, sort of, although that rule's really bad. And the rules aren't great in this game. And there's also other variations of this game where you move and then shoot, I guess, a curving laser on your path to take out other pieces. This game gets a point for really nice production. I love those hexes. I love the idea of spinning them. There's so many interesting things that can be done with that. But it's not this. This is like a game that came out in the 70s. This is old school gaming. My kids thought it was mildly interesting when we played it until we got to the end game and realized just how lucky it is. I forgot to mention, if you roll doubles, you get to go again. Double 6s, amazing. Next person rolls a 3. Folks, this is the sort of game that's in our past. I no longer ride a mule to school either. The nice production gives it a point. But other than that, cannot recommend this game at all. Hexpath, 2 out of 10. Word Colony. Folks, I'm not going to be doing an overview of this game. I'm just going to be talking about this one a little bit. So what Word Colony is, has a bunch of cards that are real thin cards like this. And you're going to mix these cards together. And then you're going to pull a card from this. And I'm going to be giving you trivia questions. The Peloponnesian War was fought between Athens and A, Sparta, B, Egypt, C, Istanbul, or D, Mongolia. Everyone has a card. They reveal it. If you get the correct answer, you will draw 1, 2, or 3 cards from a deck, depending on how hard that question was. No shock there. That was a 1-point question. Let me find one that's a little harder. Here's a 2-point question. When was John F. Kennedy assassinated? The 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s? Seems a little easy. Maybe not if you're not an American citizen here. Can I find a 3-point question? That's a number of cards that you will draw. Here's a 3-point question. The Ptolemy dynasty ruled which ancient kingdom? Egyptian, Chinese, Greek, or Mayan? What's the opposite of déjà vu? Is it jamais vu, déjà parlé, déjà connu, or vite vu? That's a 1-point question. Huh? But you can also draw a card to just say, play this card to make everyone else discard their duplicate letter cards. Because everyone's getting letter cards, they then build words in front of them. They'll crisscross these words to form colonies. You then do colonization. You can decolonization as you get there. You can steal someone else's word by putting things on that. And I'm not a huge word game fan anyway, but this idea of crisscrossing cards that you won from trivia questions is so mundane and so terrible. I just, the trivia is one thing, right? But these are just trivia questions. Sometimes you're just guessing at, and sometimes you really know. What's the sum of the numbers on the opposite face of a die? It's great. But if someone doesn't know the trivia as much of other people, they're going to have a terrible time of it. And then you get letters. Some letters are minus points. But then there's cards that just mess everything up. And then the rules. The rule book for this is like, I don't know, what is it? It's 10 pages of rules. What on earth? It's just to answer questions and build words. But I'm serious. They're like word building and scoring, building words, expanding words, building words with black cards, conquering words, building word colonies, developing super colonies, decolonization, and all this nonsense here. There's a whole section on what words are allowed, and there's just so much going on. But it all comes back to that stupid trivia, and then cards would just blow everything up. I hate this game. I really do. It doesn't make me that mad, though, so I can't give it a 1. 1 is reserved for the games that just make me want to throw it across the room. This one I just want to throw into a trash can, which is pretty close. So I'll be nice. I'll give it a 2 out of 10. And you know what? This game seems to be really popular too. But I'll tell you another thing about this game that annoys me is the whole Ooh, I feel like there's a big, cigarette on a stick dangling out of the mouth of people. They're like, this is word colony. Like, just play Scrabble. Anyway, not a big fan of it at all. Alrighty, folks. You know what? I might be wrong. Some of these games might be great. If you think so, let me know in the comments. Or if you played them and don't like them, you can say that too. Because it's great to have a diverse opinion on games. These did not work for me at all, but they might work for you. Anyway, folks, there you go. 6 games I played, so you don't have to. Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Hey, folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Vasel.